And no, before I get too into it, there's something I noticed while setting this up. On top of the building there, if you guys can see it, good enough resolution, we've got a piano on the corner there. And that tree has handcuffs, inner tubes, and fish on it. So I'm going to assume once we finish the third chapter, another bit for Bob is going to be up there about Angie's and Tanaka's deaths. Tenko's. Why did I say Tanaka? But it's kind of neat. I'm interested to see what happens. But yeah, we left off at a very odd point. Hello! Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, we left off. Yeah. We went to investigate Angie to make her stop the ritual. Found her dead. And then we conducted a seance to try and talk to her. And then found Tenko dead in the middle of the procession. So that put a bit of a damper on things, especially for Himiko. Alright. Anywho, this button. Because I'm a detective. And we're going to investigate this second death. It was right where we left off. And I have a very, very strong suspicion of I know who it is, but not specifically how they pulled off the second one. Anyway, let's get to it. It's too dark in here. We can't investigate even if we wanted to.
Got it.
Going to bring candles from other rooms to make this room bright, okay?
No.
No, that won't be necessary.
Ah.
Yeah, that's not necessary at all.
Huh?
Huh? Why?
Listen up.
Show him, Kibo. Show him your new power. New power? Let me guess, like duct tape spotlights to him or something.
His eyes lit up.
Hi. Me, you remember the gorgeous gold genius have installed a new function in Kibo.
Just leave it to me. I will become the guiding light that shines on you all.
Shine on, shine on! Shine on, you crazy fucking diamond!
Oh, man.
Man, what a lame function. You should have made him like a transformer or something.
It's okay.
But it's bright now, so we should hurry and investigate.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. Kibo's flashlight function has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. As an aside, the best way to light that up without blinding everybody is to look up at the roof or the ceiling and then have the light spread back down, I think. Just an oddity. So, where to begin? Hole in the corner. That's a specific spot. Each time I come up with an idea, there's some odd little thing that completely throws it. There's a small opening in the corner of the room. It doesn't look big enough for a person to get through, but still.
Is this...
A hole? Looks like there's space under here too. Oh, hold on. I can see something below. It looks like something dropped down here. What? Something dropped down there?
Got a minute?
After we check everywhere else, why don't we go into the floor and see for ourselves?
Okay.
Right, let's do it. Hole in the corner has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. Alright. It's the white sheet we use for the seance. This was placed on top of the cage. Kyo was the one who removed it.
Is this...
This cloth is pretty thick. It's similar to a window curtain, but it's completely opaque. And on the back, looks like there's a blood stain on it, right around the middle of the sheet.
But
No hole in the fabric. Which means Tinka wasn't stabbed through this cloth.
Okay.
She was stabbed while underneath the cloth. White sheet is added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. Makes sense, yeah. It's the wooden dog statue used in the seance. I believe it's called the Dog God. During the seance, this wooden statue was on top of the cage. It took 4 of us to remove it. This wooden statue is pretty heavy.
if I remember correctly...
Gio said it was about 175 pounds. That's about the weight of 2 girls.
What?
What do you know about girls? Have you even touched the woman beside your mother? What?
I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. Anyway,
Is this...
if this heavy thing was on top of the cage, then Tinka wouldn't have been able to get out easily.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right about that. That didn't sound like you were kidding earlier. Dog statue's been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. I can't quite get the dog statue other than a weight. I think it might be more important than that. I can't quite see what. Candles hung on the walls. They're the only source of light in the room. There are no windows in this room, so without the candles, it was pitch black. But how did the culprit kill Tenko in complete darkness? This is the cage used in the seance.
Is this...
Looks to be around 3 feet high and 5 feet wide. It's a pretty large iron cage.
Okay.
Big enough for a person to fit inside. Kind of the point. During the seance, Kokichi and I covered Tenko with the cage. We were supposed to remove it as well. But it was Himiko who rushed in and removed the cage first.
Hey,
Hey, look at this.
is this...
A blood stain on the bottom of the cage. Probably Tenko's blood, yeah?
That's true.
Yes, I imagine so. This spatter must have been made when she was killed,
What do you mean?
which means Tenko was killed while she was inside the cage.
Okay.
I think you're right. Tenko went under the cage before the seance. But when the cage was lifted after the seance, she was already dead.
Then...
She was stabbed right when the cage was lifted. That would explain this bloodstain, right?
Huh?
Perhaps she wasn't killed during the seance, but the exact moment the cage was lifted. That is a possibility. Iron cage has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. Maybe. Eh. There's a rock next to Tenko's body. This must be... Please rest your forehead upon this stone marker I've placed here. It's just a stone I brought from the courtyard. Are you sure it'll work? Certainly. It is merely needed as a marker for the forehead to rest upon. Like this? Tenko had her forehead on this rock, hunched over. She had to make herself small to fit inside the cage. Marker stone has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. Tenko's dead body. She took her last breath, crouched over like this. According to the Monokuma file, her only injury is a stab wound to her neck. This wound was fatal. This must have caused instant death. I didn't hear a scream during the seance. Wait. Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over. Would Tenko really keep her mouth shut despite the pain?
Nope.
Her death might not have been instant, but she couldn't have gone far before she bled out.
Huh?
What do you mean?
What's the point?
You were concerned about that, right?
Okay.
With a wound this deep, the victim is too shocked to do anything except die. You're speaking from experience?
That's obvious.
Of course. Quick deaths are my specialty. Well then, that makes sense.
By the way,
The real question is, what was she killed with? I don't see a murder weapon around. You're right. I don't see an obvious murder weapon that could be a clue. Tenko's last moments has been added to the truth boat section of your monopad. Floorboard is loose. And it's the one right under Tenko.
why?
Why is this floorboard loose?
If I remember correctly,
It wasn't like this before. It must have come loose during the seance.
Why?
Why would it come loose during the seance?
but
A floorboard this thick and heavy wouldn't have come loose easily. Then someone must have loosened it on purpose. The loose floorboard has been added to the truth boat section of your monopad. Alright. Corner. Small opening corner of the room. Something down there. Finish up looking up around here. Alright. I think that was it. Other than the people, I guess. Alright, yeah, that's it. The ruined magic circle. It's the magic circle Kyo drew on the floor. Well, at least it was.
oh dear.
It's been completely stomped over. I suppose it was unavoidable.
Well,
Was this drawn with salt?
Yes.
Whenever I perform a seance, I always use salt.
what?
Are you feeling alright? You sound ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. I have performed many successful seances. Why, I've even had spirits enter my body.
Right already.
Shut up. I don't want to hear about your stupid delusions. He really doesn't beat around the bush. It's kind of refreshing, actually.
But
In any case, with all these footprints, I can't make out the original circle.
So what?
We'll find out in Kyo's lab. It should be written in the Cage Dog Village document.
Hey,
Isn't that right, Kyo? He seems depressed. I suppose that makes sense. Magic circle Core Kyo drew has been added to the truth boat section of your monopad. Right, I think that's all the things. Let's go talk to people now. I said things that made Tenko look suspicious. And now this. I'm sorry, Tenko.
stop it.
Cry later.
What?
Huh?
Because.
Crying won't bring Tenko back, and if we don't investigate thoroughly, we'll die too.
okay.
I need to find the truth and pin down the culprit. For Tenko, and all of us.
I guess.
You're right. Tenko would want us to figure it out so she'd have no regrets. That would be the best way to apologize.
Well,
Do these floorboards seem a little unstable to you? They're tough to walk on. The floorboards aren't nailed down, they're just lying on top of cross pieces. That's why Gonta told me. That's what Gonta told me. That's probably the reason they're a little unstable. They've only been laid on top. That's why they're unstable.
Well,
The boards are fairly thick and sturdy. I can't imagine they'd come loose easily.
is this.
But if someone wanted to remove a floorboard, they could easily do so, right?
okay.
Yes, I suppose. Yep, that's what happened.
Hey!
Himiko! Hey, Himiko! Be strong, Himiko!
Wait,
Gonta, if you shake Himiko that much, she's gonna break.
What?
But she's not talking. It's like Himiko not even here.
like I thought.
She must have been really shocked over Tenko. Let's leave her be for now. Okay. Himiko.
Why?
First Angie, then Tenko.
How can this be?
Gonta's so ashamed. Why Gonta no could protect friends?
Leave it to me.
Leave it to me. I'll become the guiding light that shines on you all. Alright. Sure, buddy. Thank you, though.
That cannot be.
Why did this...
I knew it.
Kyo, I know the murder was pretty shocking.
But of course.
Of course. I'm shocked about that as well. But why did the seance fail? We performed all the steps flawlessly. He seems more concerned by that than the murder.
Ah, yes.
Oh, if we perform the caged child again and summon Tenko Spirit this time.
This is stupid.
Got the crap. Just tell me what happened during the seance. Both you and Shuichi were present, right? Did you get killed during the seance?
I see, yes.
True. It may be best to move past what happened, to know why the seance failed.
Is that so?
Whatever, just hurry up. At the time, in order to begin the seance, we had Tenko, the spiritual medium, position herself as a turtle within the magic circle so that her head touched the marker stone. Then Shuichi and Kokichi placed the cage over Tenko. And after that, I placed the white cloth over the cage. Then all four of us placed the wooden statue of the dog god atop the cage. Afterwards, we stood in the four corners of the room. Kokichi and Shuichi blew out the candles.
Yes.
Finally, we sang the caged child song. The seance should have been complete, but...
Ah!
Now that you mention it, I remember hearing a strange sound during the song. Yeah, that sound in particular was I was half expecting that statue to be exploded. That's what that sounded like. It is a mystery to me as well. I thought someone may have tripped, perhaps. That was a pretty loud sound for someone tripping. Perhaps Kyo knows something.
What do you mean?
And then what happened?
Yes.
We called out to her, but no reply came. I had Shuichi and Koichi relight the candles. And then we removed all the items from within the magic circle, in the opposite order. First, all four of us removed the dog god statue. Next, I took off the white cloth, and then... Himiko ran over to the cage, and the moment she lifted it... And it sounds like Tenko was definitely killed during the seance.
No.
But it would not be difficult to... But would it not be difficult in such darkness? Besides, she was inside the cage, yes?
Then?
Then when was she killed?
Well, that's...
Yes, that is a problem.
I see, yes.
There is another problem.
How?
And that is, why ever did the seance fail? I simply cannot figure it out.
Perhaps.
Maybe someone moved from their corner? Did someone else sneak in here?
What's the point?
Obviously, since the seance was clearly a sham. He never was one to pull her punches. Sound during seance has been added to the truth boat section of your monopad.
Hey!
Maki, we finished investigating up here. Perhaps we should check under the floor?
By the way,
Seems pretty dark down there. What should we use for light?
That's true.
Let's bring a candle. With Kibo's light from up here, that should be fine.
okay.
Now I'll go get a candle. Hey, hey! Welcome. YouTube this time, huh? Welcome. We're investigating a ritual ceremony. Remove that floorboard so we can go down.
Okay.
Okay, got it. Apparently have a skeptic in our group here. I pulled off some of the floorboards near the hole and took the candle from Maki. Then we carefully made our way through the hole and under the floor. That's a lot of room. It's a hell of a lot of room. This is a lot more spacious than I thought. You can move pretty easily on all fours.
Okay.
Let's look around for clues.
Well,
It'd look pretty stupid if we found no clues after crawling around in this dusty place.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's... as a whole. Some of the wood has corroded and is broken off, so you can see into the next room.
Hey.
This is the wall of the empty room, right? Looks like there's wood along the wall. This part is rotted away. It looks like natural rot. This hole wasn't made intentionally. But I can get into the next room through here.
That's true.
If I remember correctly, the room next door is also empty, right? Then the culprit could have gone from room to room by moving under here instead of using the hallway.
No.
True, but it would have been difficult moving around under the floor. We did alright because we had light. Without that, it'd be pitch black. That might make it impossible to move around in there.
Nope.
Then they could have used the light, like we're doing right now.
Well.
True. They used the light to move around under the floor? Is that possible? Not during the seance. During the seance, it was pitch black. Any light would have been noticed from any of us. I originally had a feeling that these rooms would have some significance because of a mix-up or something, and I completely forgot about that. Now there's a hole. Now that leads to being anybody coming in and doing this. Thought I had it, now I don't. Ah, look! Part of the crosspiece that supports the floorboard is cut off.
That's true.
It's near the loose floorboard, and the portion missing is about the same width, too. And from what I can see of it,
That's true.
it wasn't broken off naturally. This was cut by someone. There should be saws in the warehouse, so they could have used that. The question is, why? Another crosspiece is supporting the floorboard, so it might not fall if this portion is missing.
Then...
So, what purpose did this serve? The floorboard underneath Tenko's body is loose, and the crosspiece supporting it has been cut. If the culprit did all of this, then why? The crosspiece under the floorboard has been added to the truthful section of your modipad. Quite frankly, to get that floorboard there. There's a blood stain on the ground underneath the loose floorboard. Well, that's pretty far from where Tenko's blood is dripping down. It's under the same floorboard, just at different ends. Why is there blood here?
Hey.
Hey, the back of this floorboard has blood on it too.
Ah,
You're right, there's a little bit of blood on the other side of this floorboard.
What do you mean?
Did Tenko's blood splatter here when she got killed?
that's true.
I wonder, I can't really be sure yet.
Okay.
But these bloodstains here are completely dry. There must be some reason these particular stains are dry. This floorboard is added to the truthful section of your monopad. Dried blood. That, Okay, so things are getting really complicated now. Blood dripping from the gaps in the floorboards. Fresh blood. This is definitely Tenko's. And here we have something very bizarre. There's a sickle here, and there's blood all over it.
Okay.
The blood on the sickle is fresh. This is it. This is the murder weapon.
Is this...
This came from my research lab.
Huh?
It did?
Well...
A sickle can be used to assassinate a target. Yeah. It can be thrown without losing any lethality, and you can hide it under your clothes, too.
Well.
If she was attacked with this, she wouldn't stand a chance. The blade's about 6 inches.
That's right.
And since Tenko was in the cage, she wouldn't have been able to defend herself. But even if this is our murder weapon, how did the culprit attack Tenko in the cage? The blade could fit through the gaps in the cage, but Could it reach her neck?
That's true.
The cage is 3 feet high. If you were to stab into it with a 6-inch blade, well, it would depend on Tenko's posture, but I don't think it's impossible. Then her posture is the question.
Hey.
Hey, if the weapon is down here, the culprit must have thrown it away, right?
That's true.
Perhaps after killing Tenko, the culprit threw the sickle under the floor in the dark. Or they could have been under the floor for the entire time. Either of those is possible. The sickle under the floor has been added to the truthful section of your monopad. I think we've finished investigating here.
Is that alright?
Maki, you want to head back up? Glad you asked. I was starting to get fed up with all this dust. After Maki and I crawled out from under the floor, we put the floorboards back and returned to our investigation.
By the way,
We've only been investigating this room. You sure that's wise?
Huh?
What do you mean?
because
If Angie and Tenko have different killers, then the black one we need to vote for is
You're right.
the culprit for the first murder. The culprit who killed Angie. That's what Monokuma said.
then
So, instead of investigating Tenko's death, shouldn't we be investigating Angie's?
Okay,
Yes, of course.
but
But this is bigger than the killing game. For the sake of the two who died, I need to reveal the truth of both their deaths. Well, I understand why you feel that way. But if you plan on investigating the other crime scene again, we should probably hurry. I don't think we talked to you. Not sure I quite want to, but... This investigation is over and shut. And it's all thanks to me for giving Kipo his new function. Now then, Kung Fu's killer is obviously one of you stupid assholes who signed up to do this bullshit seance in the first place.
no.
No, not necessarily. Huh? Seriously? The seance was clearly set up to lure her in and kill her. How could someone who wasn't in the room kill her?
Could it be?
So, you believe that Tenko was killed during the seance?
fucking moron.
There's no other possibility, shit for brains. God, you don't even know that? It is true that Tenko was alive before the seance began. This is the point of no return, Tenko. After this point, you mustn't speak. The next time you open your mouth, it will be Angie speaking through you. Understood. I'll not say a word until the seance is over. Tenko answered Kyo, so at that point she was most certainly alive. But when the candles were relit, she had already been killed. That means she was killed in the dark. I'm positive. What time exactly was Tenko killed after the candles were blown out? It may be an important point to this case. I think less so than it's making it out to be. She got in there and was killed under the cover. We pulled it off, and she was dead. It was either during the ritual, while we were doing whatever, or during the reveal. But I don't think it was during the reveal, but that's the only two possibilities it could be, I think. When I came to the hallway, a scene more surprising than I could ever imagine unfolded.
It's a lie.
Did that surprise you? Were you gonna scream and cry in terror?
Huh?
What are you doing?
Oh?
No, sorry, I'm just a little lightheaded from the blood loss. Yeah, this is real blood.
Why?
Okay, so what are you doing? I got curious about something, so I decided to search the empty room next door. Then suddenly, I stepped through the floorboard.
Huh?
You stepped through a floorboard?
So mean.
Jeez, that got me good. Because of this, I tripped and fell pretty hard.
Got a minute?
If you're gonna lose consciousness, do it after you tell us everything.
Ah.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I guess there was no crosspiece supporting this floorboard, so I kind of stepped through. What bad luck. The crosspiece was gone? Does that mean...
Huh?
Huh?
Confidence, dreams. That's what the killing game is all
These are all
about.
back now. Hi, Monokuma. Welcome back.
Killing game fans, hold your head high and watch with your own two eyes. Baseball, soccer, mobile games, they're all nothing compared to the killing game. The killing game just can't be beat. Behold, students, the entrance to the trial grounds.
The entrance. Do we get a shortcut, or do we have to run there?
Oh,
I guess time's up. Aw, man. It's because of you guys. I didn't have enough time to check something.
Huh?
What were you trying to check?
see?
Oh, I wanted to re-research the seance again, so I brought this document with me. But unfortunately, I couldn't find anything new that could be used as a clue. Kyo perfectly reenacted the seance as what was written in the document. He drew his magic circle the same exact way as in this picture. Not only that, he used the same exact tools too. Nothing suspicious about this whole thing. Well, I wanted to check the finer details, but I'll tell you about it later. What do you think the killer is, or? Give me a moment. At the class trial, so see you there. Kokichi left, the blood loss clearly affecting his footing a bit. Bloody Kokichi has been added to the truth bullet sections of your monopad. Lovely thing to go. Let's go too.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. Is Maki nervous? I see, so even she gets nervous sometimes.
Do you want to die?
What are you staring at? Do you want to die? Alright. So we're back up. Who do I think the killers is at /R? Okay, unfortunately enough, my gut instinct is telling me it's Kyo. Before Kyo. He had the seance, he set it up, he set everything up perfectly. So he had the ability to, during the lights out, go and mess things up. As a potential. One of the other things I'm potentially thinking of, it was him because Angie had no regard for the ritual and was going to go bring back the dead, which he was very much against. Which would be motive. That's gut feeling, but I'm iffy on it now. And before we had the hole in the floor that I forgot about, I knew once I originally saw the 3 rooms when we first discovered it, this is going to be a part in the case. There's 3 of them. We're going to have to do some like room shuffling or some bizarre thing like that. I forgot about that completely during the investigation until that hole popped up. So I was thinking it was yeah, I don't know, he's a suspect, but I'm not entirely sold on it. I think partly because they've stressed how he does the whole thing perfectly from memory, nothing different, that somebody took the advantage of that. But yeah, so my second thought was Himiko, actually, oddly enough, for potential revenge against Angie and Twinkle for being overbearing or something like that. I don't quite know, because the hole in the corner was where Himiko was. That's
Oh dear.
that was her position, because we were in the southwest corner. Korikyo, I think, was in the northeast or southeast, and Kiba was on one of the other side there. So it was no, not Kiba, but Korikichi. Kokichi. So me and Kokichi were either on opposites or on the same wall. It doesn't really matter at this point. And then Kyo was on the other one that Kokichi was at with Himiko. So, if I'm remembering right. And Himiko was the one where the hole was. So she could have dropped down, crawled under, stabbed Tanko, hopped back up, and then pulled the grate off. Surprise, surprise, she's dead. That can work. But there's that whole crawl space, which is a whole nother can of worms, which means it could have been anybody else. Give me a sec, I need to look at the profiles. So it's, yeah, Shuichi, us, Himiko, Korikyu, and Kokichi were in the thing. So it leaves Kaito, Gonta, Kibo, Maki, Tsumugi, and Miu outside, able to take action. But there's also the Angie death. Alright, so it's... I don't know, it's... If things were individual, like just the Angie one or just the Tanko one, I could maybe figure it out. But now that there's more to it, everything's all opened up now. We'll see, we'll see. It would appear we all have gathered, but it seems there are less and less of us.
Oh.
Less friends mean it that much harder to solve mystery.
Don't worry.
Well, don't worry. I'm sure you've gotten a little smarter by now, Gonta. Yeah. Going to do his best to help. I don't want you to graduate from super idiot level to at least Kaito idiot level.
What?
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Are you okay?
More importantly, are you okay, Kaito?
Ah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling better now. But wow, my girl sure does pack a punch.
I don't know.
It's your fault. You don't need to worry about our dwindling numbers. Only dipshits have died so far.
That being said,
I know it's a tall order, but you try to use your brains this time so I don't have to use mine.
hoo-yah!
These golden brain cells of mine are a gift for the entire world.
Unacceptable.
It's as though every time you open your mouth, you become less likable.
Rest in peace.
Matua, please lend us your power.
But
It may be difficult for us to rely on Atua, considering what happened to Angie, whom Atua loved most of all.
well, you know.
She shouldn't have relied on Atua in the first place. But seriously, it's kind of funny seeing a robot believe in God, especially Atua.
I also.
So what? Robots can believe in God.
Indeed.
Actually, before I even met Angie, I had a similar experience. Hearing voices, I mean. You might call it an inner voice. It tells me what to do whenever I'm in trouble.
Got a minute?
How long are you gonna say that for? Atua and ghosts don't matter right now.
Jeez.
That's something else. You know, the trial this time is gonna be rough. We got caught in Monokuma's trap.
Huh?
His trap?
That's right.
He probably made the fourth floor so scary on purpose to prevent me from investigating.
Oh, right already.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
Hey, so
Shuichi, say something.
Huh?
What should I say? There's only 10 of us left, huh? What should I say? I don't know. Don't you? Wrong choice. Going to do his best to help. Could just open up this thingy.
Please wait.
It's true, though I do not know if it can be attributed to God per se. I can hear an inner voice guiding me when I don't know what to do. I can't explain why, but I believe that voice will lead me to hope as long as I listen to it.
On your knees.
Shut up! What the fuck is a robot talking about God anyway? It's unseemly.
You're so dumb.
That inner voice is probably just a radio or something, like in taxis and stuff.
That is not funny.
It was unwise of me to confide in you all. I doubt it's just picking up radio signals. I'm pretty sure that is actually voices he's listening to. I'm betting it's a private channel that only goes to him. My bet. And we're all ignoring that because he's a robot. Why did the seance fail? I never did figure out why. I see he's still more interested in that than the case. Alright, I think just gotta open it up. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Who's on my Discord? I have Discord up, but nothing up. He's on my Discord. Yeah, that might be it. He's just like future sight, like listening into his own show. That would be interesting. The Truman Show type thing. Maybe. As usual, we walk toward the elevator in silence. As soon as the remaining survivors stepped aboard, I've got a potentially new suspect. Now, we descended. I'll keep this one on reserve. Oh, thank you for the host. Perhaps because there were fewer of us, the elevator seemed to move faster. And so we fell, faster and faster, downward into the black. Honestly speaking, I think Miyu, Gonta, and Kibo are the least likely to be killers. Gonta, he's too nice of a guy. He might be gullible enough to fall into the machinations of somebody else plotting something, but I don't think he himself would do the killing. Kibo is in a similar fashion, and Miyu's too cowardly and whatnot. Cowardly and lazy. So I don't think it's them. I can relatively safely take them off the board. Which leaves us, which technically I can't take off the board because that already happened in the first game. But I'm going to take us off the board. We didn't do it. Which leaves, just here, Kurikyu, Kokichi, Tsumugi, Maki, and Kaito as the only 5 possible options available. Unless we also take into it, and Himiko. Can't forget Himiko. And if we take Angie's death into account, we could technically go with Tenko. But I don't know. I don't think so. And I'm going to say gut feeling it's not Maki. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people left that it could be. The elevator stopped, and just like always, the doors parted slowly. The light that shines on us from the other side, the bright light of our future. Or is it...
Uh-oh.
Boy, they look really depressed. Must be because there's even less participants now. Don't say they look depressed. They'll make Monodom sad. As much as I'd love to keep hearing this adorable back and forth, let's hurry up and get this started.
Extreme!
At last, the class trial will begin. I hope you enjoy it to your heart's content. Alright. The third class trial was about to begin. Angie Yonaga, the ultimate artist, she created the Ultimate Academy Student Council to try to prevent the killing game. Then Tenko Chabashira, the Ultimate Aikido Master. She hated men, but I knew that she hated this terrible killing game even more. The two were killed. The two who were killed were both trying to stop the killing. And who was the one who killed them? Was it one person? Two different people? We need to pin that down in this class trial. In order to live, we have to find the truth. And I will fight for it. I will fight with truth and lies in this class trial. I don't quite like fighting with lies. It doesn't quite work with how I've solved every other case in every other game. Kind of goes contradictory to it all. Mostly. Alright, so time to, I think, equip skills and such. And I think we've got high tension. We've got 50 points. When did I get that? Oh, purchase. It's available. Okay, safety first moves a time penalty for breaking a non-erasable piece. Yeah, that's fine. That's easier punch. Opponent's back. Oh, we only have 4 points. Blade lock. Increase the amount of letter cubes that can be acquired at once. During Psyche Taxi. Peak. Entire screen will light up more frequently. Effect during Haneman's Gambit. First strike. Where the first speaker's argument is shown from the start. This is the silence as loud voices. Effective mass pack activates. Silences all conversations except those the reticle is on. Effective mass pack activates. Mind's eye. Not stop. I think. You know what? I got 4 points, so I'll toss on one of these. Instantly silences loud voices. We'll go with you. Okay. Oh, toss it on. Alright, so that's what we got. X-ray goggles. What those do again? I can see excavation stuff. Everything else is equipped. Yep. And view then. Okay, so I'll start off with this. Are my theories anywhere close to yours, or do you already know who it is? This master of murders. Alright. I think I'm pretty Angie in the art room. I think I've got that. That one's pretty simple puzzle. Not overly difficult. But how she was killed is the iffy one for me. Chronicle of Off 3, the victim is the ultimate artist, Angie Yonaga. The victim's body was discovered in the ultimate artist research lab. The time of death is approximately 2 a.m. The victim was killed by a fatal stab wound to the torso. Fatal stab wound to the torso. Additionally, she had lacerations on her forehead. The second victim is the ultimate Aikido master, Tenko Chabashira. The victim's body was discovered in a vacant room on the 4th floor. The estimated time of death is 11 a.m. The victim was stabbed in the back of her neck, resulting in death. No other injuries were detected. And she had locked herself in the ultimate artist lab since yesterday, working on the ritual. She would not unlock the door unless someone from the students' council asked her to. Student council members were Gonta, Kibo, Himiko, Tenko, and Tsumugi. Yeah, that's one of the other ones. Angie would only let a council member in. So her death could only be done or assisted by one of them. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Gonta or Kibo. I'll take them off, so it's Himiko, Tenko, and Tsumugi. Tenko is a likely potential candidate, but which then leaves Himiko and Tsumugi. This door is a cylindrical lock. Madame solved the only key, so it can only be locked and unlocked from inside the lab. Before Angie's body was found, the door was locked, but Kokichi opened it by picking the lock. The 4 wax effigies that were created for the resurrection ritual, they are exact replicas of the late Rantaro, Katie, Ryoma, and Kirumi. They were hung upside down from the ceiling beams in the Ultimate Artist's lab. It was stabbed into the hung Katie effigy. Because the katana is so old, the handle's gold leaf rubs off easily. There was blood on the tip. It was taken from the Ultimate Anthropologist lab, so the only sheath was left in the display case, and no one could have entered the lab. A book Monokuma prepared as motive, and she attempted to carry out the book's resurrection ritual. The Necronomicon resurrection ritual. Yada 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 yada. Forehead injury. Considering the laceration, the injury in the victim's forehead was not bleeding as much as it should. A bloody piece of duct tape stuck to her hair. The blood on it had already dried. The blood that was flowing from the back of Angie's neck created a pool. That is a very odd piece. This duct tape, this is a very out of place one. Art lab back door. This door has a sliding lock. When Angie's body was found, the sliding lock was locked from the inside. The handle of the sliding lock moves to the slightest touch. Something gold and shiny was on the handle. Very important. Kokichi can lock and unlock the front door of the Ultimate Artist's lab with his lockpicking skills. And stuff. Now, save that. We'll bring it up as we need to. Alright. Corp Preparation, Chapter 3. Transfer Student from Beyond the Grave. Let's get to it. Class trial in session.
Now then, let's begin with the basic explanation of the class trial. During the trial, you'll present your arguments for who the culprit is, and vote for who done it. Vote correctly, and only the blackened will be punished. But if you pick the wrong person,
Duct tape there.
I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and that person will graduate from this academy. Also, refusing to vote will result in your death, so you better vote for someone.
Better vote for someone.
Now, smiles, everyone! It's showtime! Let's get this crazy awesome trial underway!
Sorry, everyone. I don't think I'm gonna be much help this time. Because of Monokuma's disruptions, I couldn't do a thorough investigation.
I can tell Monokuma is overcompensating to hide his self-consciousness.
Next time, spend less time fixing your hair and more time investigating, spaceman!
Shut up! I don't need to hear some comedy act from you two weirdos.
Who did it? Who killed Angie and Tenko?
Do not let your emotions hasten your judgment. There may be 2 killers.
So, our other culprit might not be one of us here.
Hmm? What do you mean?
The transfer student. Maybe our resurrected transfer student dragged Angie and Tenko into the grave.
That didn't happen. Book was still in the
Stop it! Stop making stuff up!
Say something, Shuichi. It'll be a mess if this keeps going on.
Why is that up to me? Is it even possible for a revived corpse to be the culprit? Well, in the interest of being thorough, I should clear things up here. Book, whatever. Necronomicon, there it is.
This crime was committed by the recently deceased. They came back to life and killed 2 of our classmates.
No! So, ritual did work?
Nope.
That's wrong!
You gotta burn the book.
I don't think Angie's ritual succeeded. According to the Necronomicon Monokuma showed us,
No.
you have to burn the Necronomicon in the ritual.
After preparing the effigy, burn this Necronomicon to ashes. Use caution. Be mindful of carbon monoxide poisoning. Sprinkle the ashes on the effigy and repeat the name of the deceased 3 times.
If Angie's ritual had succeeded, the book would have been gone.
So she must have been killed before the ritual was complete, since the book was still intact.
Yep.
Then, going to think Rantaro probably not culprit.
No, he is not.
Oh,
Not this
I
time.
guess you're right.
Well, duh. There's no way a dead person could resurrect.
Not in this place
Hold on
anyway.
a second. I can't let that comment stand. Sure, everybody knows that you can't bring the dead back to life. But it's easy at the Ultimate Academy, as long as you use the Necronomicon.
Guys. Just
What are you talking about? There's no way that's possible.
But it's true. I never lie about motives.
that is actually something Monokuma does. He
Daddy
doesn't
said so,
lie.
so he can't be wrong. Raising the dead is totally possible.
He's just very manipulative in what he says.
I can't believe you guys wasted such a perfectly good motive. You should have let me use it to bring Monodum back to life.
Monodum is still alive, though.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't waste a resurrection on Monodum's corpse.
Oh, lovely.
Oh? So resurrecting the dead was actually possible this whole time?
Yep. At least he
There's
used
no
it.
way it's possible.
There's no way that could happen, idiots.
Idiots.
Monokuma is trying to confuse us.
It just
Let's hurry up and find out who the Blackened is.
why is Angie's all
If
weird?
our transfer student isn't the culprit, then blame falls to one of us.
Halo.
Who? Who did it?
Step aside, Half Pint. I'll handle this. I don't know about Tenko, but I'm pretty fucking sure Kyo murdered Angie.
What? Why?
Don't play dumb with me, creep show. I already know what happened.
Give me a second here. Yeah, Angie's
The
just
culprit
dealing
used a
with Halo.
katana to kill Angie. And it was found in Kyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kyo, automatically suspicious.
But anyone could have taken that katana, you see.
So that rusty katana was the murder weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo.
I did not care about some katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in, and murdered the fuck out of Angie.
That would be the problem. He couldn't have broken in.
Genius!
But yeah, that's an oddity. I don't quite know what to be thinking about from the beginning. Angie's portrait is the only one with a halo and wings. Everybody else has just a generic X. That's odd. Like, it's an oddity. We should be thinking about it from the
The
beginning.
culprit used a katana to kill Angie. And it was found in Kyo's research lab.
Yes, it was. That's where it came from.
You, Kyo, automatically.
But you see,
You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo.
katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in.
Whether Kyo had a key or not, Angie still would have let him into her lab. From there, he could have pinned her down and murdered her just like that.
I was wrong.
Okay, so give me a
The
sec.
culprit used a katana to kill Angie.
Buttons. Holy katana. Stabbed into the hung Haiti after because the katana's old and handles will leaf up because the blood on the tip was taken from the ultimate anthropologist lab, so the sheath was left in a display case. Anyone could have entered the lab.
And it was
That's front door, the door is the lock on them. It's hold the only key. It can only be locked and locked from the inside of the lab. Before Angie's body was found, the door was locked, but Kokiji opened it by picking the lock. This back door. Sliding lock.
found
Kokiji's lock picking. Kokiji can lock and unlock the front door as the open R slap is locked by skills.
in Kyo's research.
Smoothie's account. And she'd lock herself in for our stuff. Standing behind the ritual, she's not locking the door unless someone who... Okay, this is the one we needed to use.
Which makes you, Kyo, automatically suspicious.
But I've taken that katana.
So that rusty guitar was the murder weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing. Kyo? I did not care about some
katana.
Just admit it, you shitty worm.
Shitty worm.
Okay.
That's
Right concept, wrong execution. You're the 20 official. Welcome, welcome.
No,
Yeah.
Kyo would not have been able to enter Angie's lab.
It is a pretty interesting one. The first couple, currently on chapter 3, first two were mostly guessable, but it's getting a lot more complicated now. Yeah, welcome, welcome. Oh, if you already played this game, no spoilers. And who's your favorite character? We're trying to figure out who to talk to next and stuff for friendship goals and shit. But welcome, welcome. No, Kyo would not have been able to enter Angie's lab.
Isn't that right, Tsumugi?
Yeah. Before Angie locked
And
herself
bear
up
with
in
me
her
as I
research
make mistakes.
lab, she said she wasn't going to open up for anyone but student council members.
And Kyo is not a member. She
Yeah.
wouldn't have opened the door for him.
Kyo couldn't have killed Angie even if he wanted to.
Yeah. The
I
only way
had
he...
no desire to kill her in the first place.
Eh.
So whoever killed Angie must have been one of the student council members, yeah?
I was doing a bit to lead you to the right answer. Can't believe you actually got it.
Oh, how clever.
You can just ignore her, Gonta.
Okay.
The remaining student council members are Gonta,
See, it's-
Kibo, Tsumugi, and Himiko.
Why?
Well, it can't be Himiko. She was besties with Angie. I trust their friendship. You guys do too, right?
Yeah, of course.
Can we trust their friendship so readily?
Himiko Tenko.
Obviously. Let's believe in them.
That trims our list of suspects down to 3. Gonta, Tsumugi, and Kibo.
Yep. The culprit is one of those 3 people.
You mean one of those 2 people? Because a robot ain't people, Jack!
I will let that remark slide. Anyway, aren't these accusations just a tad too hasty?
Not
What
necessarily.
else? The culprit should confess already. Gonta, Keyboy, or Tsumugi?
Angie already
Well,
said council
No,
members only.
not Gonta. Gonta would never kill Angie.
Pretty sure it's not going to
Yeah,
be.
Gonta's a gentleman. You shouldn't suspect either of us.
Then the only
Hey,
remaining
stick up
one
for
is
me
Kibo.
too.
Gonta definitely not hurt anyone. Torture Gonta if you don't believe.
You told you, huh?
Torture might be a bit too far, but Gonta and I aren't the culprits.
Tsumugi, you're the only one
And I'm not the culprit
who's neutral
either.
who can't.
Jeez.
Gonta
not
not
the
We're
culprit.
not the culprit.
Hey. Mass panic debate. Let's see what to tell you. Front door, back door, toxic, and
We must consider other
Gentlemen.
possibilities. Surely there must be suspects outside the student council.
Student council.
Who did?
that's utterly impossible.
Last night.
A dead chick
Not just
can't be the
anyone can open
culprit.
the door.
They couldn't declare it, they just opened the door.
Only student council members had access.
Student council members. Much better than being out to
I didn't know robots told such boring lies.
a friend.
It's definitely not
Is
me.
that a robophobic remark?
That's actually coming in really handy. There's only 2 options. Out late at night and only student council members. Several suspicious statements, but one is obviously inconsistent. Listen carefully, sort the answers in my head and find the answers.
We must consider other
Call that front
possibilities.
door, back
Surely there must be suspects outside the student
door,
council.
Necronomicon, maybe you can't.
That's utterly impossible.
Angie had locked herself in the Occult lab since yesterday working on the ritual. She would not unlock the door unless someone from the student council asked her to. Council members were going to Kibo, Himiko, Tenko, and Tsumugi.
Possible.
Front door. Central lockhouse. Having the keys can only be locked and locked inside the lab. Frenchie's body was found. The door was locked, but she opened it by picking the lock. Back door. Sliding lock. Entry was found. Sliding lock. Locking the inside. Head on the sliding lock. Moves to the side step. Something going to on the handle. Keep his lock picking. Keith can lock and unlock the front door. Our slab with his lock picking skills. Necronomicon and the ritual. Resurrection for forget to use your soul inside the FG is irrelevant. I got words mixed as you wish. It's not obvious who the FG is supposed to be. Label with an NPC. Step for preparing the FG. Burn the Necronomicon to ashes. Use caution. Mark on the knockout closing. Sprinkle the ashes on the FG and repeat the name of the deceased 3 times. Before your eyes and wait. After a while, you feel a light tap on your back. And so that means the ritual is a success. The ashes are only good for 1 use. The ritual can only be performed once to use the white. Help.
Only student council members had access.
She said she would only open the door for student council members, right? Who else could have opened it? Can't think of anyone else.
Oh no!
I guess
We must consider other possibilities. Surely there must be outside the student council.
Only student council members.
I heard it!
that was it. So, yeah, Gontas was just out there. There's nothing like the
No,
plot.
it wasn't just student council members that could have opened that lab door.
What was it you said earlier about Kyo opening the door, Shuichi? Unless you're a student council member, you can't enter Angie's lab, right?
I was referring to Kyo. He couldn't have done it, but you could have. Because I saw you open the classroom lock by picking it.
Yeah. Kokichi pulled out some thin needles and stuck them in the keyhole on the lock. Click, 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 click. There, open sesame. Locks are really simple.
Oh, that happened? I totally forgot.
So you're going to pretend you don't remember, huh?
Quit glaring at me like that. Of course I remember. Yeah, I did it. I killed Angie.
Wait, what? What did you just say?
I picked the lock to her lab, snuck into the room, and then wham! Killed Angie. The culprit was me, all along.
What?
What are you saying? Is this some kind of joke?
Nah, no joke. I thought that if I confessed, I could atone for my sins. And it helped. I feel so much better.
Wait, so Kokichi really is culprit?
Doubtful.
No, he's lying. I think. Maybe?
He's lying. I'm certain of it.
No, definitely
No,
not a
Mom.
lie. I killed Angie. Shouldn't you guys believe the culprit when they confess?
Then let me ask you, culprit. How did you lock the room?
Huh? Well, it's the same as opening it. You pick the door closed from the outside.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Huh? What doesn't make sense? Can't you lock a door by picking it?
Maybe, but that's not how the culprit locked the room. They used a different method.
What
Yeah.
different method? Yeah, Mumbles. Use your big boy voice and explain yourself.
There were 2 doors to the classroom, and the one locked last was.
The back door.
That's it!
There. Alright, my name
The back door.
is Celestial.
That's how they made this a
Gutenberg.
locked
Welcome,
room
welcome.
mystery.
Give me a sec. So, Kirumi, Tojo, Korokio, Gonta, Kaito, Katie, and Rantaro. Alright. Rantaro, huh? That's an odd one. We know him for all of 5 minutes before he dies. Unless something else happens and he gets brought back. or something. But yeah, it's me personally, I like Korikyo. He's an interesting, a unique character, and I like that he's an observant one. As for other people, I like Gonta. He's fascinating. I like his character. I like voicing Angie, but I hate her so much. But yeah, so anyway, good choice. Miyu and Himiko I don't like, so boring. Yeah. Miyu is her character is very creative, but I hate voicing her because I have to say everything she says, and she says some very batshit things. But anyway, but yeah, and yeah, the character I find the most boring is actually Tsumugi. She's like non-existent. She's like so plain, nothing is there. She doesn't have any strong opinions one way or the other. She doesn't have any beliefs. She doesn't have anything to hate her for. She doesn't have anything to like her for. She's just there. It's weird. I forget she's there half the time. Maybe that'll change later on, but
The back door had a sliding
We'll find
lock,
out.
yes? How was it locked from the outside?
The culprit used a certain tool.
a certain tool. A certain tool outside was. Okay. No, not you. It was you. So, shit. Shit. There you go. It was the katana. That was an easy one.
The gold leaf katana that was stabbed into Kaede's effigy.
First,
The culprit used that to hit the knob of the sliding lock to lock the door.
that's it.
So the
I saw
gold
that.
leaf was in the sliding lock
That pic right
because-
there. You know exactly how it happened
Because
first
when
go.
the katana hit the lock, some of the gold leaf rubbed off on it. The gold leaf on that katana did peel rather easily.
Yep.
That evidence rings a bell. Specifically, a school bell.
Huh? Are you talking about a different school? What school was it?
Nagito vibes. Yeah, he gives off those vibes too. But sorry if I miss your comments. It's hard for me to read, keep track, think, and respond at the same time. Yeah, it's. I hate his character, but I gotta actually respect him a bit. I think he's actually better than he lets on. But yeah, he drives me up the wall sometimes. Huh? Are you talking about a different school? What school was it?
Now, that doesn't matter anymore. Let's not dwell on the past.
Ooh, the gold leaf landed on the sliding lock when the katana touched it.
Yep.
So that means the culprit used the katana to move the sliding lock, right? But wait, how did they move it with the katana? And from outside Angie's lab?
The clue that might give us the answer is the layout of the area itself. It was an odd setup after all.
Yeah, it's just.
The katana stabbed into the effigy. The effigy's hung upside down.
Angie didn't do that as part of the ritual?
Yeah, no. Nagito was interesting, but his ultimate skill was bullshit. Just straight up bullshit. The ultimate luckster. I get my way no matter what the hell I do. But yeah, he was very deranged, but working towards the ultimate goal, I guess. His character arc was definitely something else. Very unique to this series. I don't think you'd find something else in like any story, I think. Yeah, Nagito was spooky. That is definitely one way to put it.
No. Nowhere in the Necronomicon did it say you had to hang the effigies.
If it was not part of the ritual, then it must have been for a different purpose, right?
Mm-hmm. Different purpose? What could that have been? It's quite easy. It's elementary, my dear Watson. The culprit somehow used the setup to lock the room. In that case, I need to know the reason behind every step of that setup. I'm just going to say it up front right here. If I do that, the way the culprit locked the room should be clear. We're going to have to, like, taxi. It's a pendulum. This is one annoying mini games to work with. It takes a long time for stuff I already know. How they solved this one was they stabbed this katana into Katie's effigy. Then they gave it a strong shove, bolted out the door, closed it, and swung back and locked the door from them being outside. Ta-da! I guess anyway. What turned the handle of the sliding lock? Oh, let's go. Text time. Thinking time. Okay. Katanas. Hello again. Welcome. Okay, give me a sec to read that. Don't really want to spend more time here than I need to. Just give me a sec to, after this minigame to read. I can't do it right now. Just if it looks like starting an active game. What was done with the tunnel turned the lock. It's not turned, it's pushed, it's a slide lock. It's a slide lock. It's very simple. Down was stabbed in death. Just finished homework, huh? Alright. Well, hang in here. We're gonna be driving these lovely cardboard ladies around Vegas, I guess. Wherever the hell this is. Alright. Of all the games, this is the most annoying one. It takes a long time to do not much. That's club members on the left. That's Angie, Tinker, and all of them on the billboards. Why are they on the billboard? Why are they on the billboard? Angie just did a tour student council there. How is the FG manipulated and it's gotta affect the lot? Yeah, come on. Thinking time. What to do is swing it back and forth like a ball swing. What? Spinning it is one way to do it, I guess. Same concept. Alright, so that's over with. Trying to kill someone first chapter, feeling upset, Tego didn't ask him to help her kill Mahiro at the time. Russian roulette. Oh yeah, that fucking room. Oh yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, I'll just play Russian roulette. Yeah. Remember that stupid room? Yeah. He was definitely something else. Nagito, it's like, oh wait, that's not how you play Russian roulette? No!
That's it. The reason the culprit stuck the katana into the effigy.
Oh, it's the thing. Have you beaten this one already? I heard something I'm wrong. What do you think? Yeah, it's making it look like Korikyo. Korikyo is definitely the one in the spotlight right now, but my gut says it's not him. It's like too obvious a culprit and not fully, just doesn't seem to fit quite right. So, yeah, I see that too. It's not just the katana, but elsewhere. That's it. Alright, that's cool. Alright, that's it. The reason the culprit stuck the katana into the effigy
was so that it would hit the sliding lock as the effigy spun.
Spun, swing, whichever one works.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you spun the effigy, the rope it was hanging from would twist.
That is a better way than just a pendulum option.
Let it go, the rope would unwind, and the effigy would spin the other way. And of course, the katana would spin with it.
You're hoping this possibility it was Miu, huh? I'm pretty sure it's not Miu, just because she's too gutless to do any of this.
So the culprit used the katana's counterspin to push the lock into place? The culprit simply needed to spin the effigy's rope, and then swiftly leave. This would cause the spinning katana to hit the sliding lock.
Yep.
And thus was the back door of an empty classroom locked from the inside.
And if it was Kokichi, he wouldn't have needed to done that. He could just lock it again.
Yes, that's how Angie's lab was locked.
Yeah, this is how it was locked for someone
By
who
using
didn't have
the
lock
effigy
picking.
with a katana.
A plan born from the heart of a sword traveling through the air to intercept us. Oh, but could it have moved the slide lock so easily?
Yes, absolutely. He could have.
The sliding lock was pretty loose. A little push could move it.
Angie was horribly
As
powerful.
long as the spinning
With
katana
what she
hit
was
the
doing.
lock, it would have slid into
Not
position.
annoying, but
Even if the culprit failed
Cult
the first
leader.
couple times, they could keep trying until it locked.
Which is why the culprit chose to strike at nighttime, as to avoid detection.
that's generally why things are done
Yes,
at nighttime. Yes.
Since the student council prohibited anyone from walking around at nighttime.
Are you saying it's the student council's fault?
I know that's a little
I didn't
silly
say that.
voices.
In any case, the culprit probably used the murder weapon for this trick. It had to have been the right length to hit the sliding lock from the effigy.
The culprit couldn't find a blade long enough in my lab, so they settled for the katana.
The other effigies were only hung up so we think it was some kind of ceremony. That way, we wouldn't notice the lock trick.
Maki, huh? You think Maki's annoying?
Kokichi did say earlier
as
that
far
he
as I
could
can
have
tell.
kept the lock closed. I don't want to completely ignore that possibility.
Oh,
But I can't imagine the culprit would have done all this just for a distraction.
no, this is more
If
of a
that's the
requirement
case,
for him.
then Kokichi's confession earlier was actually...
Yeah, I can
Seriously?
understand how
You
her voice
fucking
is
lied
grating when she's
again?
lady, but
Cough it up, Kokichi!
there's more than one. Personally,
Man, you
Hinkley
guys
was
got
annoying
me.
to me.
Okay, I'm not the culprit.
The culprit.
You're telling the truth this time, right?
I want to say I'm lying, but I'm not.
Why did you say you were the culprit?
To get us to think, right?
I wanted to lure the culprit out. If I claimed to be the culprit, then the real culprit would agree as well. You get me? And if they pressured me to confess, then that would have looked mighty suspicious.
Just maybe, just maybe.
Sheesh. Darn it. It didn't go my way because Shuichi butted in on my plan.
Butted into my plan. Well, your plan was really idiotic, man.
You and your fucking lies! Go sit in the corner and play with yourself!
Why did I have to voice this stuff?
Okay, I'll start right now.
Alright,
No,
so
not
who's the
before you
asshole who set up this
set it
locked
up
room
before.
mystery?
You, I can't hold it up anymore.
What's the matter? You going soft on me now?
Who made the locked room mystery doesn't matter since anyone could have done it. Don't you even understand something as basic as that, you filthy cum dumpster?
Cum dumpster! Finally! Someone finally called me a cum dumpster!
Really?
What should we talk about now?
We must focus not on the locked room, but on who entered Angie's lab. Only one of the student council members or Kokichi could have gained entry. Therefore, the culprit must be among their number.
That leaves us with 4 suspects. Tsumugi, Gonta, Kibo, and Kokichi.
Don't forget Himiko. She's also a part of the student council. Doesn't matter if she was besties with Angie, she's still a suspect.
That contradicts what you said earlier, which I can prove using my recording function.
Tape recorder.
It's fine. That's just a waste of time.
Me? A suspect?
Technically so.
Never kill Angie!
So, calling all suspects, what should we discuss next? I want to hear everyone's opinion. What
Alright.
would you say to get yourself off the suspect list?
Why are you trying to lead the debate? You're a suspect too.
Silence, outsider. Only the suspect rangers are allowed to speak.
Suspect rangers?
I agree. Those under suspicion should explain themselves thoroughly.
We might catch them with their pants down!
Anyway, I want to ask the suspect rangers,
I guess we're
what
just
should we
using
talk
it.
about? What should we say to get ourselves off the suspect list? Well, guys, I want to hear what you think.
That's sort of a difficult question, you know?
Gonta not smart enough to know answer to that.
Yes, it is difficult to formulate a logical response to that question.
Not articulate with words, huh? Don't you guys want to prove your innocence?
They don't trust you one bit, and I don't blame them. You're probably plotting.
Why did Tenko have to die?
Huh?
I want to know what happened to Angie too, but... Can we talk about Tenko's case now and not just Angie's?
I got you exactly where I wanted, Himiko.
Really?
What do you mean?
The 2 victims could have been killed by 2 separate murderers, you know. So we need to find the first Blackened responsible for the first victim. We've got to figure out who killed Angie. Until we solve Angie's case, Tenko's case is meaningless. Did you suggest that to waste our time?
It's not meaningless!
Himiko?
Tenko's death was meaningless? How dare you! Poor Tenko! How could you do this to her? Himiko...
Himiko, stop it with your crappy lies.
Lies?
Everything you said is total BS. You didn't give 2 shits about Tenko when she was alive. But now you're like, oh no, poor Tenko, after she's dead. Come on, really?
Kokichi, enough!
No. It's okay. It's no surprise he'd think that. I know I ignored Tenko before. That's why I'm so
That is a
upset
possibility
now.
that I've been tossing around.
I should have faced Tenko. Worked things out with her while she was still alive. But now, it's too late. I can't complain to her or thank her. It's too late.
Yeah, seriously! It's way too late to realize that now. Our only option is to face her death head on.
Yeah? Face her death?
Himiko, I understand what you're going through.
But yeah, it's
So I'm gonna help you out. Let's work together to find
not
the truth.
necessarily just one occult.
I'm not gonna let anyone say her death didn't matter.
Kaito. Alright. I'll put a silencing curse on whoever calls Tenko's death meaningless. The name of the curse is... Death Curse! I suppose being dead would silence someone pretty good.
Listen up! All you guys are gonna help out too. Abandoning someone who died and only thinking about your own survival. That's just as bad as a hit and run! I won't forgive something so messed up!
Tenko was our friend. Gonta wanna know why she died too.
I already told you that's so unnecessary. We're getting sidetracked here.
No, even if it was a different culprit, we need to know how Tenko died. If we don't find out who killed her, we won't be able to work together. Not now, not ever. Even if this trial isn't for her, in order for us to survive, we need to get to the bottom of Tenko's death. Not just to survive this trial, but so we can keep going and live on!
Live on. Okay, good.
Finally, you noticed. Jeez, you're so slow.
Huh? Did Kokichi want us to notice?
Don't listen to his crap. We haven't decided whether there were two different culprits yet.
Let us talk about Tenko's case then. Perhaps that will provide us a clue.
Potentially,
Yeah,
it's,
maybe.
it is an odd one. They're not wrong, but I don't mind going over Tenko's case. But that was an abrupt change of topic. Was that
So
intentional?
what do we talk about first?
For now, let's see if we can narrow down the list of suspects.
That's not
Tancrotch probably got killed during the seance, so everyone there's suspicious.
Potentially.
Tancrotch!
Tancrotch? What? The people who attended the seance. Korikyo, Shuichi, Hiko, Kokichi, Kibo? Me, Korikyo, Himiko, Kokichi, and Kibo. I think it was us 5. Only 4 participated in the seance. Please don't forget details
Damn
like
it.
that. Yeah, but Kibo was there first.
That's it!
Alright, but
It was me, Kyo, Himiko, and Kokichi.
it's... With Tenko's murder, we have a gap under the floorboards. That leads to the next room, which opens it up to literally anybody else. So we can't narrow that down at all. In the room was Himiko, us, Kokichi, Korikyo, and Tenko. Outside was everybody else, being Kaito, Maki, Tsumugi, Gonta, Kibo, and Mio. It was me, Kyo, Himiko, and Kokichi.
So those 4 are the culprits!
Oh, Himiko's still culprit?
She's still a potential. It's weird.
Well, that's
Can't
probably
rule her out.
just a coinky-dink. The most suspicious out of the 4 is really... Kyo. He suggested the whole seance idea.
True, I may have suggested it, but I explained
was
the
a lot of weird
procedure
things.
beforehand, yes?
But
If we all knew of it before the murder, then we are all equally suspicious.
Well, I suppose, but...
In addition, the seance wasn't entirely in my control either. I was not the one who selected the room we performed it in. It was Himiko.
Yeah, that was right. That's one of the big things that bugs me. Middle room's always best. Very well, I shall begin the preparations at once.
Oh, right.
So Himiko chose the
Also,
room.
we should not limit our suspects to only those who participated in the seance. The empty room had a point of entry from outside, you see.
I knew of this point of entry from outside. You must be referring to. Floorboard. Floorboards under Tenko were loose. The culprit might have gone under the floor to enter. Tenko was atop them the entire seance. It's unlikely the floorboards were used. There's another location that we could have entered and exited without using that area. Bullshit. That's all bullshit, man.
There! You're talking about under the floor, right?
That's what those floorboard would technically be. I hate that. It's not him. If it's not Himiko or Korokio, that leaves Kokichi and Shuichi. And even with that, we can't rule out the protagonist because that did happen before. So, but I doubt it is Shuichi. Nothing odd really about what happened with his viewpoint so far, as opposed to when that happened. If it's not Himiko or Korokio, that leaves Kokichi and Shuichi in the seance room. She could have been killed by somebody outside as well. And there's a lot of ways they could have gone about that too. Under the floor, right?
Under the floor?
Under the floor?
Yes, there's a crawl space under the floor a person can move through. There was also a hole that connected it to the neighboring room.
Giant hole to the neighboring room. The big hole.
If the culprit used the hole, they could have entered and exited the seance room.
If we consider that possibility, then there is another suspect.
Another suspect? Who?
It's appearing before me. Oh, I can see it clearly. The true identity of Tenko's killer.
Really? Cage had another stone was capable of
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Huh? Now, hold on a second.
Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room during the seance!
I said hold on a second.
He used his robot functions to commit the murders.
Hold on a second.
It's true that a little light can move around under the floor. Is that
The culprit sneaked in.
wait a second? Or people appearing in their place in the light. So it's down, you forehead zone, in the circle. Dog on top of the cage, something around the circle, turn off all the lights, make it completely dark and separate complete. Rooms, one call for the corner room, spirit meeting, same gate shelves on. Blah blah blah.
During the set.
Stone. Tenko's body during the seance, including crouching in the iron cage stone. Floorboard, sword after Tenko was not loose before the seance. There's dried blood on the bottom of the floorboard.
Yeah, that's
In the corner, the hole was in the corner of the room the seance was held in. There's space under the floor so you can see where the strap is. Maybe. Yes, but light in the dark, potentially. But this one was loose floorboards, holes in the walls. Any light that shone down there would, I'm pretty sure, be seen up above. One more corner that gives him. He was flashing the function that Mew had added to keep him from blinding light from his eyes.
Crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't
Yeah,
dark.
I see some repeats, so...
You see,
PR2.
our villain had a light.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Now, hold on a second.
Could have used that function to get under the floor.
Sure, it's cramped in the floor, but there's enough room for one person to move around. Especially if they had Kibo's flashlight.
Damn it!
Over again.
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Apparently, there is a...
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You
third
see,
chapter's always a
our
set
villain
kill.
had a light.
Danganronpa
Light?
game?
You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Huh?
To get under the floor and sneak into the empty room.
I said.
The culprit sneaked in during the seance.
Crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black
Sure, we
during
can go
the
with that.
seance.
Pitch black.
See if they were under the floor.
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Huh? Now, hold on a second.
Use that function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room during the seance.
I said, hold on a second.
He used his robot functions to commit the murders.
Okay, Kibo flashlight.
Hold on a second.
True that with a light, you can move around the floor. At least that costume. No, that's fine. It's fair enough to have a lot of favorites. It's... I tend not to have a lot of favorites. Like this guy, this guy, this guy. But, that's weird. I rarely have, this is a favorite.
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during
A function that Mew had added to Kibo, he can emit a blinding light from his eyes. Blinding light, paid shot, people. Holy cow. Well, it was in the corner of the room, Sam just held it. There was space on the floor so you could see what was trapped there. There's a hole. You can see it. Fair warning, it's been a while since I played the old Danganronpa, so I'm based solely off memory. I like the mechanic in that game. What's his name? He's an interesting character. As well as... Look into that one again. It's, I don't remember.
the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. Our villain had a light.
Okay.
Kibo's flashlight function.
Who could have used a function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room during the seance?
I said, hold on a second.
True, though, if there's a light, you can move around on the floor.
The culprit sneaked in during the seance.
Give it a shot. Gotta do a blind shot here. See what we can do.
Because it wasn't dark. You see,
Dude,
That's wrong.
I don't know what to say. I just don't know how to say it. Crazy.
I don't think the culprit could have used a light while under the floor.
Sorry. Took control of that. But yeah.
There was a hole in the corner of the room.
Names. I have
If a
trouble
light
with
were
names,
used,
especially.
it would have leaked through, and we would have seen it.
Yeah, he had very good character growth. I actually respect that.
When we did the seance, the room was
pretty cool.
definitely pitch black.
Right, so
So a light was not shined under the
give me
floor,
the
which
jobs
means you
of what
cannot
they were.
claim I am the
remember them
culprit.
a bit better for their names.
Jeez, here I thought this
I
would
remember
be the
faces
case where the
and
murder
what
could
they
only
do
be done
as
by a
opposed to names
robot.
A lot better. It's weird. I don't
You have
know
accused
why.
me of being the culprit more than once now, simply because I am a robot. My status as a robot does not mean I am capable of performing superhuman feats. My vision is somewhat poor, and I only possess average physical strength and intelligence.
All right, you made your point.
Yes.
God, now
I
I
am
feel sort of
average.
bad for you.
How many times do I have to tell you? I'm just.
I neither
average.
want nor need your pity.
Enough with the flashlight! It's way too bright!
But yeah, it's
It would have been difficult to move around under the floor in that pitch black darkness.
I have to look it up
Maybe
here.
the floor and the hole have nothing to do with this case.
Then why was floorboard under Tanko lined up funny? Going to think that was so culprit could stab Tanko from under floor.
That's what it was.
Ooh, nice observation,
Not
Gonta.
those
Are you
ones I
finally
like.
getting used to the class trials?
Around here. And
Uh-huh.
what's
Thank
her
you.
face?
Don't say it like that. You're better off
Big ol'
not
energy.
being used to
I
this
can't
kind of
even
stuff.
remember her Job.
Maybe they marked Tenko with glowing paint and looked for that. That'd let the culprit find her. Then they could stab her through the floorboards.
Boy, that sounds really familiar too. But I'm just gonna ignore it.
The corpse didn't
That
have
was
any
the-
trace of glowing paint, though.
That was the reference
Oh,
too.
yeah. So then
I think
why
that-
was that floorboard loose?
The loose floorboard was the one under Tenko, right?
What is her job?
If the culprit used it while she was still
Replay this
alive,
one.
she'd totally notice.
Who fucking cares? Fussing over that won't get us closer to the culprit!
We shouldn't dismiss this line of inquiry, however.
Yeah, that's
Instead of
localization.
butting our heads against this, how about we
Localization's
concentrate
the
on
devil.
another issue?
It can be good.
What other
Mostly
issue?
it's not.
Perhaps first, we should figure out how and when exactly Tenko was
Yeah,
killed.
I've been told that from a couple of people.
When? So
hate-
not during seance?
I can understand doing a couple things
Tenko
like
was in the metal cage for the whole seance, wasn't
instead
she?
of eating a family meal of
How could someone have gotten to her
udon,
there?
and instead replacing it with a burger.
Maybe the culprit
something
killed
like
her
that.
before
Sure,
she
fine,
went
that
under the
doesn't
metal
matter.
cage.
But changing an entire character
That's
is
not possible.
stupid.
She was alive at that point.
There was even one example I know of. This is the point of no return, Tanko. After this point, you mustn't speak. The next time you open your mouth, it will be Angie speaking through you. Understood. I'll not say a word until the seance is over.
Yes, she was unmistakably
apparently in
alive when the
Fire
seance
Emblem
began.
Awakenings?
That
One of
was
the DS
right
games.
before we blew out the candles.
They
but when the
redid
light
an
came
entire
back,
scene that went over like the ninja's history. These two were talking together or
The
whatever.
floorboard was removed at that point.
They
so it's
replaced it with
likely
nothing
she
but
was already
silence.
dead then.
They straight up didn't translate it at all and changed comedic
So she
things.
was killed when the room was dark?
They changed the entire tone.
But
meaning
she was
behind
inside
everything.
cage, right? Going to think it's impossible to kill her then.
But she
I will
wasn't
admit,
killed when the
from
room was
an
dark.
American perspective,
It was a
the
different
Tarzan
time.
dip is fun, but
A
if it was
different
just normal,
time?
I could completely go for that too.
How the fuck should I know? You figure it out, shitheads! Huh?
Paying attention here.
Since Galta said it was impossible, I'm proposing an alternate theory. Now hurry up and think! If you want to make my golden brain tingle, start circle jerking your lipstick brains!
Thank you. Supposedly beneficial conversation with Argerson Iron Cage while she's
When
out
Tenko
there.
got killed, it wasn't during the seance.
It could not have been done at any other time.
It could not have been done at any other
She
time.
was under the cage the whole time. And she was dead when the cage was lifted.
What about moment cage was lifted?
That is a possibility.
Like that.
When cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tango real fast. So fast, no one saw.
Oh my!
So who lifted the cage?
It was me.
Then obviously Himiko is the culprit!
There's no down!
Tanko not being killed during the seance might not be possible, but there's no evidence for it.
When Tanko got killed,
The sheet, what do we got? The sheet was over the iron cage during the seance. Very thick and cannot be seen through. There's blood on the back around the middle of the sheet, but there's no hole in the fabric. So she was killed under the cage. Dog statue. The wooden statue that was put on top of the iron cage during the seance, it weighs about 175 pounds. Shuichi, Fukichi, Kyo, and Himiko worked together to put it up and move it from the cage. It is unlikely somebody pulled it off, stabbed her, and put it all back. Sickle under the floor. The sickle that was under the floor of the room in the seance was held in a weapon. The seance was held up. The weapon came from the ultimate assassin's lab. The blade was about 6 inches and the blood was still wet. Marker stone, relevant iron cage. The iron cage that Tanko was in during the seance. It is around 3 feet high and 5 feet wide. Shuichi and Fukichi placed it over Tanko, and Himiko removed it. Tanko's blood was on the bottom of the cage. Alright, so, yeah, so we've got Tanko, cage, sheet. There's blood on the sheet on the back of it, not on the top of it. Take that off. We've got the cage. There's blood on the cage. Take that off. Tanko. So somebody went up on the floorboards, killed him, and brought it back down. Right?
wasn't during the seance.
It could not have been done at any other time.
So,
She was under the cage the whole time.
she was.
And she was dead when the cage was lifted.
There's a way to...
What about moment cage was lifted?
Like that.
Holding it makes a line.
When cage
right?
lifted, culprit stabbed Tanko real fast. So fast, no one saw.
Oh
We
my!
can make him agree to it.
So who lifted the cage?
It was me.
Apparently Himiko is the culprit!
No?
There's no When Tenko got killed, it wasn't during the seance.
Thank you, Mia, for making
It could not have been done at any other time.
Alright.
She was under the cage the whole
Under
time.
the cage all the time. I
And
can't
she was
predict
dead
it.
when the cage was
She was dead
lifted.
when the cage was lifted.
Moment cage was lifted.
Cage was lifted.
When cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tanko real fast.
Yes, that's what happened.
So fast, no one saw.
You knew.
So who lifted the cage?
It was me.
Then obviously Himiko is the culprit!
There's no
Alright. What do I...
When Tenko got
Write it back down. I can't call spirits, but I didn't think use that in chapter 2 that physical souls who killed them.
killed, it wasn't during the seance.
It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time.
Cage.
And she was dead when the cage was lifted.
Yes, that's all good. I didn't have to lie.
What about moment cage was lifted?
Like that.
When lifted,
Culprit stabbed Tanko real fast. So fast, no one saw. Should we look at the cage?
Then Himiko is the culprit!
There's no
Under the cage, one was lifted, and then he goes there. Tanko not being killed during the seance. That may not be impossible, there's no evidence for it.
When Tenko got killed,
Dog statue, 6 lines, or... tickles.
It wasn't
Marker
during the
cone.
seance.
That entire cage.
It could not have.
Cage where the cage tank was making sense. Around 3 feet high, 5 feet wide, which includes place the tank when he removed it. And closed on the bottom of the cage. Went down the line. What would I lie
Been
about?
done at any other.
Hit sheet. On the cage. Place the computer on the cage. Remove the rest of the cage. Don't need to lie. That's clear. Alright, so you can see I know what happened. Or at least I'm sure what happened. So how the hell do I tell them this? So I've got on the cage. When they lift the cage, he goes the culprit. So Himiko isn't the culprit. That's the one I think I have to counter.
The time. She was under the cage the whole time.
White sheet. That's it. It's a white sheet. That's the one we need. There's blood on it before.
Fast!
So fast, no one saw.
Nope.
Lifted the cage. Then Octo is the.
There's no
Alright.
It wasn't during the seance. It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time. She was dead when the cage was lifted. What about moment cage was lifted? When cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tango real fast. So fast, no one saw. She lifted the cage.
So here's the cage. I just love how everyone just is ignoring
Then
her.
Himiko is.
There's no God damn it.
Sorry guys.
It wasn't during the
One
seance.
more time.
It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time. She was dead when the cage was lifted. What about moment cage was lifted? When cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tango real fast. So fast, no one saw. She lifted the cage.
Cage. It's really weird listening to it all.
Then
Like,
culprit.
There's no
it's not good, did you think? Well then. We have to keep going to this thing.
Is this?
Okay.
We can't let it end here. Here.
Alright, so. Going to this is the only other one I can see it as. Because there's blood under the white sheet.
When Tango got killed, it wasn't during the seance.
It
could not have been done at any other time.
Dead center in the middle of the seance.
She was dead when the cage was
Cage
lifted.
the whole time. That part is true.
What about
The
moment
cage was lifted.
I don't think that only possible if she was killed after seance. Unless you know the reason why that's not true.
Damn it!
Sorry, pulls it up.
When Tango got killed, it wasn't during the seance. It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time. She was dead when the cage was lifted.
What
about
the
moment
cage was lifted.
Ooh, like that.
Damn it.
When cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tango real fast. So fast, no one saw.
It's really annoying. I just missed
So
that
look at the cage.
much. Maybe I need more focus for the next
She
skill.
was the culprit. When Tango got killed, it wasn't during the seance. It could not have been done.
I'm not doing this on purpose, guys.
She
I
was
really
under
am
the
not.
cage the whole time.
She was dead.
And the cage was lifted.
What about moment cage was... That's wrong!
Why did it have to be this particular
No,
debate that I
it
was
wasn't
stuck
possible to kill her the moment the cage was lifted. Because the inside of the white cloth had
Yeah,
Tenko's
that's
blood
the
on
shit.
it. That cloth was removed before the cage was lifted. If Tenko was stabbed then, there wouldn't be blood on the cloth.
What? But how could my golden brain be wrong when it felt so right?
Just shut up, you, please.
The only possibility is that Tenko was killed during the seance.
I got your remodel right here!
No, it's still wrong to think that Tenko was killed during the seance.
What?
I'm gonna prove it right now. My golden brain is gonna go all out!
You, please stop. Please. Alright, let's get this over with. Tenko's last one was focused on these silver barricades.
Tenko died after the seance. It happened when the sheet was lifted. That was the moment the culprit chose to stab the fuck out of Tenko through the cage. They stuck the thin blade through the gaps of the cage, and that clean white sheet got stained blood red!
But the weapon was a sickle. Only the blade could have fit through the gaps.
The blade's all you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko, sitting in there with her neck all exposed. She wasn't that far from the cage's gaps. In which case, the person who lifted the sheet is the culprit, and that's none other than Kyo!
Must be a whole music somewhere.
The blade's all you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko, sitting in there with her neck all exposed.
I'll cut through your words.
No. Stop arguing with me. This is pretty straightforward.
Wait just a minute. Tenko wasn't sitting down inside the cage. She was bent over with her forehead against the marker stone, and the cage itself was about 3 feet tall. The sickle's blade was too short to reach Tenko while she was in that position.
Then I messed up again?
Yes.
How could this happen? I am so embarrassed.
No worries, Mew. Everyone already knows you're an embarrassment to the human race.
Yeah, no worries.
Don't worry.
How embarrassing!
If Shuichi is right, then it's impossible for Tenko to have been killed through the cage.
She couldn't have been killed during the seance since she was in the cage, right?
Spot, don't I?
If she was killed then, the cloth over the cage would have been pierced.
Not during the seance or from below the floor. Then it's impossible, isn't
Oh,
it?
it was below the floor.
Yeah, for a living
obvious.
person.
Huh?
What if Angie's spirit killed Tenko?
No.
What are you talking about? That's not possible.
Of course it's not.
You don't know that. Some things are impossible for a human, but not for a spirit.
Don't say stupid stuff like that.
There I ask.
Screw spirits.
Stop that now.
Stop that now.
Angie's spirit killed Tenko?
No, that's not what
Why?
happened.
Himiko?
Why would Angie's spirit kill Tenko?
She betrayed the student council.
What if Tenko killed Angie, and then Angie's spirit came back for revenge?
Like I said, that's impossible. Spirits can't be culprits.
Then explain
Reddit
how the culprit killed
dedicated to
Tenko
remain
under
from
these
this
impossible circumstances.
Well,
See? You can't explain, can you?
Well,
Only a
yeah, we'll
spirit
get
could
to
have
it.
done that.
wait, I know. What if the culprit was hiding inside the cage?
No.
If they were in there, they could have stabbed Tenko during the seance.
No, if there was someone else in the cage, we would have
I agree
noticed.
with Kaito. The culprit could have been inside the cage.
It's... What?
Nonsense. There was no space in the cage for the culprit to hide.
Maybe the culprit wouldn't need to hide in the first place.
What?
What?
Also, the culprit could have killed her in the cage at any time. I think you know what I'm getting at, right?
No. The they she's referring to. But killed Tenko from inside the cage? I have no idea what you're going on. No. You? Wrong. Who could have killed Tenko inside the cage at any time? I don't get you. You're really narrow-minded for a detective.
I was wrong!
I don't... Somebody was in the cage. It's a 3-foot by 5-foot thing. There was already a person in it. It's not a lot of space. It can't be anybody big. It has to be somebody small. What the hell? I don't get this. Short question. Who could have killed Tenko from inside the cage? Maybe herself did it? No, yeah, I even talked about that being suicide. That would be the only person in the cage.
I believe Maki is referring to Tenko herself.
Alright.
What did you say? Are you saying Tenko is the culprit?
She committed suicide.
Suicide?
If she committed suicide, it would explain a lot of things we couldn't figure out. She volunteered to be in the cage, and then stabbed herself during the seance. It wouldn't matter how dark the room was.
But the sickle she was stabbed with was under the floor, right? If Tenko had stabbed herself, wouldn't the sickle still be inside the cage?
Oh my god. Mew actually said something smart.
Perhaps that
He actually has
explains
a good
how the
voice actor.
floorboard was removed.
The characters aggravating beyond hell.
After stabbing herself with the sickle, she threw it underneath the floor.
So she took off the floorboard to get rid of the sickle?
Yes, that makes sense to Gonta.
Well, it doesn't make sense to me. There's no reason for Tenko to commit suicide.
Unless
Maybe
she
I
killed
wasn't too
Angie.
far off with the theory I had earlier. You know, about Tenko killing Angie.
Yeah?
Because Tenko and Angie were fighting for your attention, right?
Angie, why did you brainwash Himiko?
Tenko's pent-up frustration led her to commit such an atrocity.
Oddly enough, it's been too long for me to remember that far back.
Her conscience couldn't handle it anymore, so she decided to end her own life.
Yeah, it is interesting how like voice actors have the same voice for different characters and whatnot. They play different roles and you don't notice it at times. But then it's really aggravating when you have the same voice for everything.
What?
But if she was gonna kill herself, why do it during the seance?
She wanted to hide the truth of her suicide.
Really? Why?
There could only be one reason to hide it in a killing game, right? It's to take us down with her.
Take us down?
She wanted us to pick the wrong answer during the class trial, so she could bring us all down. She wanted us to die with her.
Are you only wondering, huh?
Okay, well, she probably just wanted Himiko to die with her, but still.
But what are you saying? Tenko wasn't like
Kokichi
that.
is very perceptive. He
told
sees
me.
and knows a lot more than he tells people. Keep your chin up and live life facing forward. Survive with me and everyone else.
What if all of that was just a lie?
A lie?
Wait, we should believe Tenko's last words.
The true terror of class trials is that you shouldn't believe everything said.
Himiko, you said that Tenko would never do anything like that. But how can you be so sure? Did you guys actually know each other? People keep all sorts of secrets. Like Maki. She hid the fact that she's a cold-blooded killer. Is it wise of us to trust other people wholeheartedly in this kind of situation?
Yeah, you can't trust them.
Jeez, you're such a naive dude.
Naive?
We're all just people, you know? Of course we're gonna have some secrets. What matters is whether there's any malice behind them.
People can lie about how malicious their hidden secrets really are.
Well, duh. It's impossible to know for sure what others are thinking.
Just ask Sarah.
That's why it all comes down to whether or not you believe in yourself. If you get betrayed, it's not their fault. It's your fault for believing in them. That's why I believed in Maki Roll, because I wanted to believe in her.
Just because you're acting all cool doesn't mean you get to skip training.
Hey, come on. Don't you think you're being a little too strict?
No, you're the guy who dragged us all out there in the first place.
Well, we come from different backgrounds. So for now, let's agree to disagree. No one's ever called me naive before. And from Kaito? Seriously?
Seriously?
Whether or not I believe, my heart can't reach Himiko anymore. But I want to believe in her.
Still technically do have the Necronomicon in us.
She wouldn't commit suicide. She wouldn't try to take us down. That's what I want to believe.
Me too. Gonta no can believe Tenko commits suicide.
But if Tenko did commit suicide, that would answer all of our questions.
If you insist we believe in Tenko, then provide a reason to do so.
Proper reason.
All right, I'll give you a reason.
Is there a reason?
Is there a reason?
Yes, there is. Will you trust me, Maki? If it turns out I'm wrong, you can blame me all you like. But for now, I need you to trust in my detective work.
I don't believe Tank would kill herself because of what she said. Okay, but I'll see you guys at the seance. She said, see you guys after. I doubt she had a sudden change of heart. Just because we don't know how she was killed doesn't mean that it was suicide. We shouldn't be satisfied with that. Have to keep thinking we'll find the truth. That means we have to believe in Tenko. I'll make them all believe. Okay. One second.
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Tenko died in crash pollution, not going back to neck is deep, or not enough to kill immediately.
Her plan was...
Forward. Loose for working out below Tenko is not loose before the seance. Spread blood on the bottom of the now.
to take us down with her.
The room, 6 elements, space on the floor, so you can see what's there. Discovered. The second victim was also acted to Master Tinker Chadla Shira. The victim's body was discovered in a vacant room on the 4th floor. This was time 11. The victim was stabbed in the back of the neck, resulting in death. Infected.
So she...
Page shy.
hid her true intentions.
Tenko's not that kind of person! But if Tenko did commit suicide, it would explain how she died during the seance. She could have secretly brought the sickle, and then stabbed herself with it!
Finally, with the last of her strength, she threw the sickle underneath the floor. All the pieces fit.
Thinks that they commit suicide. Well, because we want you to come to the easiest answer. Yet others need to make them think the suicide theory wouldn't work.
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Her plan was to take us down with her. So she hid her true intentions.
if Tenko did commit suicide, it would explain how she died during the seance.
She could have secretly brought the sickle and then stabbed herself with it.
Finally, with the last of her strength, she threw the sickle underneath the floor. All the pieces fit.
In a crouch position, holding on the back of the neck was deep, but probably not enough to kill her immediately. It's not loose before the seance. Oh.
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Her plan was to take us down with her. So she hid her true intentions.
Tenko's not that kind of person.
Let's go with some.
But if Tenko did commit suicide, it would explain how she died during the seance.
She could have secretly brought the sickle and then stabbed herself with it.
Finally, with the last of her strength,
That is, I suppose, much of death was instant.
I was wrong!
So far, suicide seems to be the...
Sudden, well, neck die instantly, right? Not instantly close. Stab in the back of the neck, resulting in death. Right. What was I thinking? It's, yeah.
best explanation.
Her plan was to take us down with her. So she hid her true
Back
intentions.
the neck. Suicide, and on this course would be seppuku.
But if Tenko did commit suicide, it would explain how she died during the seance.
She could have secretly brought the sickle and then stabbed herself with it.
finally, with the last.
We have a throw away in time, no? We're supposed to death was instant.
I was wrong!
What argue?
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Her plan.
Probably not enough to kill her immediately.
Was to take us down with her. So she hid her true intentions.
But if Tenko did
Sickle.
Finally, with last of her.
I was wrong!
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Let's give it a shot. I'd argue that. Brought the sickle with her.
But if Tenko did...
Have anything
And then
Finally, with the last.
yeah. Especially long streams. Yeah. Try and exploring with extending a bit, yeah, but let's try to find. I know there's a halfway point somewhere here that we can go. Not just the amount of profile.
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Her plan was to take us down with her. So she hid her true intentions.
Cage child.
Tenko's not that kind of person.
This is the one.
Finally, with the last of her strength.
Shit.
I was...
It would explain during the seance. Secretly brought the sickle.
Finally, with a lie.
I'll reveal the truth.
I see it as
Tenko
equivalent
couldn't
of
have thrown the sickle
you've
under
got like
the
a
floor.
puzzle, and they're not fitting, so you break off the piece to make it fit. That breaks the point of a puzzle. It doesn't work like that. It's hard for me to think in lies. Tenko couldn't have thrown the sickle under the floor.
Because she died instantly.
Instantly?
Her death might not have been instant, but she couldn't have gone far before she bled out.
I'm certain of it. My investigation determined that she died instantly.
What's your opinion, Maki? I'd like to hear from someone who specializes in murder.
Maki.
You're right. I completely forgot about that important detail. Tenko died instantly.
What?
As an assassin, I specialize in killing my targets swiftly. I have no doubt that Tenko was killed immediately.
Words of a true killer. Pretty sure we can believe everything she said.
Thank you, Maki.
How could you forget that, Maki roll? You better apologize to Shuichi.
Excuse me?
It's okay, Kaito, really. No apology necessary. Anyway,
Brought it up
Tenko
with
died so
one
suddenly
point.
that she couldn't have gotten rid of the sickle. Knowing that, the theory that she killed herself just doesn't fit, correct?
Just like I thought. Tenko wouldn't commit suicide.
I will be closing the
Thank
stream
goodness,
in 5 minutes,
Himiko.
so if I don't get to the stopping spot.
Which means someone definitely killed Tenko during the seance.
Her suicide was considered because we could not determine how she was killed.
No! There must have been a way! We're gonna figure it out!
Did any of the participants witness anything peculiar during the seance? If you know something, please speak up. It could be the key to solving this mystery.
Weird that it's not brought up ever. Not a bad idea. We could remember what happened at the seance. Let me try to remember. I'm sure there's something. I need some kind of clue that will help me solve this mystery. Okay, shall we forward sound during the seance?
Did anything seem out of the ordinary during the seance?
Yes.
There is something that bothers me. The fact that the seance failed. The ritual was perfect, and yet it...
No. You go to the counter. Shit. I hate that. Yeah, no, it's... I know what it is, I just have to figure out how to say it. Yeah, shut up. We try.
We can't let it...
Blue is a glue. Yellow is the bait. Yep.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary during the seance?
Yes. Yes,
The seance failed,
it was perfect.
The ritual was perfect.
yet it failed.
Now that I think about it, while singing the song, I heard something fall.
I'm more concerned about in there.
Me was totally pitch black. My job was to be like the candles. Moving along was seriously tough.
Yep.
Did anything seem out of the ordinary during the seance?
The next upgrade, if I'm able to buy one, is
Seance.
increased focus.
The ritual was perfect.
8 points for that, I think,
Now that I think about it, while we were all singing the song, I heard something fall.
I agree.
I wouldn't consider that falling, that was a crunch.
Himiko, you think that something fell because of that sound you heard, right?
that's like a barrel being destroyed.
It sounded like something heavy fell down and hit the floor really hard. It could have fallen down.
Fallen down? There wasn't anything on the ceiling that could have fallen down, right?
Am I wrong? I thought something fell, but
The sound was pretty loud. It did seem like something hit the floorboards.
Well, how'd it sound? Like something hitting the floorboards. Maybe that sound had something to do with the other thing that happened in the dark.
This is it!
Yeah.
I think the floorboard coming off had something to do with that sound.
You think? It's so weird. They're sitting here trying to
The
figure out
floorboard
something
came
that,
loose at some point during the seance, right?
like, that board wasn't there that way to begin with. Let's just ignore it until we think about a sound. Next for some of that stuff. Yeah. Somewhat, sort of. Not really.
could the floorboard have made such a loud sound, though?
It was the sound of an intense impact.
We've got the cage, Tenko, and a statue on top of it.
If the impact was that intense, then it could have loosened the floorboard.
That is true. There would have had to be a strong impact to make that sound. But what was it? What could it possibly be? Typo.
All right, then. Let's go with that. We all gotta put our heads together now.
Cool. It's just one of those old video game things. This will be the last one, and I'll have to call it a day for the stream. But no, seriously.
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Crosby's under the
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance.
The evidence right
Maybe
here.
that
Even
person
look
tore off
into
the
it.
floorboard. That wouldn't make such a loud crashing sound. Maybe the wooden statue fell over.
No, it didn't.
But that statue was still on top of the cage.
Culprit hide under floor, then stood up with such might.
But we already said there was no one under the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floorboard.
A floorboard that comes loose when you step on it is dangerous. God, it's like I'm the only one here who's staying on the ball.
After
You
what
hardly
we
have
did
any
last
experience
time,
with balls to say that, you.
Don't be stupid. Don't you know me and Balls are the best of friends?
I have to agree with that. That would have made a strong enough impact to knock the floorboard loose. I think about everyone said to me, find it fast.
So what made the floorboard come loose?
Judging from the sound, there must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated in the seance. Maybe that person tore off the floor.
Oh no!
It's probably the stomp then.
So what?
The floorboard come loose.
There must have been considerable force.
Someone who participated. Such a loud crashing sound. Maybe the wooden statue fell over. But that statue was still on top of the
Might have been
cage.
it.
Culprit hide under floor, then stood up with such might.
But we already said there was one under the floor.
Someone must have stomped through the floorboard.
I agree. Kokichi is right. The floorboard came loose because someone stomped on it.
But floorboards fit perfect. Going to make sure first time we go to empty room.
When we first saw the room, yes. But when I looked again during the investigation, one of the cross pieces supporting the floorboards was cut off. After examining the cut, I concluded that it must have been done deliberately.
Yes. We
Someone?
agreed when we
You
saw
mean the culprit, right? Why'd they do that?
What did the culprit stand to gain by cutting the crosspiece?
That'll be it for today. That's the question, huh? Solve this case, and we think carefully about the crosspiece and the floorboard. Maybe next time, Shuichi. We'll have to figure that out for another day. Right. But yeah, having some oddities we suspect. Tenko actually is a potential. Tenko went in, killed Angie, then went back, committed suicide. That actually does fit pretty well, actually. But other than that, I'd underscore Kyo, because that would be a lot of work for him to be in the room still as well. But I think somebody cut the cross piece, killed her, tried to put it back. But it was really heavy, so they had to use leverage to pry it up or down. I don't know at this point. I honestly can't tell you. But I'm pretty sure it wasn't anybody in the sand. It had to be somebody outside of it. Actually, the crackpot one here I had, it might be that one. I got one culprit. I'm like happy to go with that one, but I've got one culprit in mind. I'll write it down and show you later if I'm right. Anyway, take care, guys. I gotta get going. It's way past the time. See you later. Have a good one. I'm not sure.